If you often feel taken advantage of or taken for granted, then you, my friend, are in the right place. If you're anything like me, you love doing nice things for other people. You love going out of your way. You love making people feel special and loved and recognized and cared for. But you also want to feel appreciated for it. I love doing things for people, and I also love knowing that they recognize the effort and that they appreciate it and that they value it. And then it just makes me want to do it more. But if you're also like me and you find yourself often doing things for people, certain people, and you feel like it's never enough or it's never quite right, or they just keep wanting more, or they're not all that grateful or not that all appreciative, then it kind of just takes all the wind out of your sails and you feel frustrated, you feel a little resentful, you feel a little bit angry. You don't really want to do things for them, but maybe you keep doing it and then continue to feel taken advantage of or taken for granted. And if you experience any of those things, then you are in the right place, and we're going to talk about this one today. If you're new here, welcome to our incredible little corner on the internet. Take a second, introduce yourself in the comment section below. Shout out to my shifters who are here today. So good to have you here. Yes. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. The button's about right down there. And then if you do get something out of the video, if you could like it, that would be amazing. Either way, my name is Kristina, and I am a registered clinical therapist, a researcher, a coach, and the creator of my membership community, the Shift Society that I just mentioned about the shifters. Those are the members of the Shift Society. That is where we are taking this work to the next level. We are going deeper. You're learning step-by-step tools and strategies to get in charge of your mind and emotions so you can be thinking better and feeling better and having better and living better. And you can get all the information about the Shift Society in the description below. I help heart-centered humans break through the crap that is holding them back so that they can like themselves and their lives more every day. And I'm going to give you a hard truth right now. If you are someone who often takes or feels taken advantage of or taken for granted, maybe not by everyone, but maybe there's certain people that you really feel this way, or maybe you do feel this way about everyone, that everyone takes you for granted and takes advantage of you, the hard truth is that's on you. Now, I'm not going to say that it's completely on you, but a lot of it is on you. There are certain people who just expect, and they are allowed to expect, but it's on you if you continue to give and give and give, and there's no appreciation on their end, and you want that appreciation and they're not giving it to you, so then you feel taken advantage of or taken for granted. When you feel like no matter what you do, it's never enough, and then you often feel run down, you feel worn out, you feel bitter, you feel resentful, you feel angry. That, my friend, is on you because you are continuing to do it. You can't feel taken advantage of if people aren't appreciating you for things you're not doing. Do you see how that works? If you're not doing something, then people can't not appreciate you, and then you can't feel not appreciated if you're not doing anything for them to not appreciate. Are we clear? As my grade 10 science teacher used to say, clear as mud. But yeah, if you are feeling taken advantage of, it's because you keep doing things that people are not recognizing or appreciating, and that's important to you. Now, you can continue to do things for people without feeling unappreciated if you are not wanting them, or you don't kind of, value being appreciated. There are people who are just like give and give and give, and they're completely fine with it. They just love to do it, and they're not expecting any kind of anything in return. They're not even expecting recognition or appreciation. They just want to do that. And so then they don't feel unappreciated because they're not requiring appreciation. However, if that is not you, that is completely fine. It's just about what you need. So there's a few different ways that we can go about this. First of all, you can stop doing things for people who have a hard time appreciating you. And I remember I had this conversation with someone. I'm not going to call them out personally, but I had a conversation with them and I said to them, as a close person in my life, I said, I feel like no matter what I do, it's never good enough. It's never quite right. It's never enough. And it's very discouraging and very frustrating, and I don't feel appreciated and I don't feel recognized. So maybe I'm just going to stop doing anything at all, because I can put in a lot of effort and I can put in a lot of work and I can try really hard and it's never enough and you're never satisfied. Or I can do nothing and it's not enough and you're not satisfied. So why don't I just save my energy and not do anything at all? Because regardless, it's not going to be satisfying for you. You're not going to think it's enough. And actually having this conversation with them helped them sort of recognize and realize that, like, yeah, like, you're right? This person was able to receive that and say, you're right. Like, I haven't been recognizing what you're doing. I have been sort of expecting more, and that's not fair. And I'm going to make more of an effort to be more appreciative and to see what you are doing. And it was actually this really great conversation we had about it. And you don't have to state it like that. You can state it however makes sense for you, but you could say, I sometimes feel like no matter what I do, it's not enough. And I feel really discouraged by that. Do you see that I'm putting in this effort? Do you see that I'm going out of my way to do these things? Does this matter to you? Because maybe, and this is the other thing, and this is the reality of it, maybe the things that you are doing for that person are not things that they actually value. Right? It's not actually important to them. And that can be a reason why we feel unappreciated, because we're doing things that we value, right? We do things for other people that we would like them to do for us that are important to us, right? If it's going out of your way to like make a meal for someone and drop it off if you know that they've been having a rough week, or, sending a text message telling someone that you're thinking about them, or if it's driving to like give them a boost if their car runs out of a battery, or if it's picking something, a little bit of extra food up at the store for them, just dropping it off at their house and be like, hey, I know that you like this stuff and I wanted to bring it by. If it's, doing something, whatever that is, that thing that you're doing for someone, if it's inviting them over to your house for a meal and like going out of your way to cook this like beautiful 7-course gourmet meal, and like you're not feeling appreciated, you're not feeling like they really like it, they're not even really maybe even thanking you, or they're not thanking you in a way that feels appreciative or really genuine, or maybe not saying anything at all. And it could be because they don't value those things. That they don't value a 7-course gourmet homemade meal. That they don't value someone thinking about them and picking up a few extra groceries to drop off at their house. That they don't value someone coming and like offering to like give them a boost if their car battery has died. Those aren't things that they really appreciate. Or, here's the other thing, they could have such high expectations that they think these things are just normal, that everyone should just do these things for them, regardless of whether or not they also would do them for other people. They might just think, well, this is just how I deserve to be treated. This is just what people should do for me. And that's just normal. And it doesn't require a bunch of like, flower throwing and, kisses blowing, right? Like, it just doesn't. And so we don't know where people are at. We don't know why they are not responding to us in the way that we want them to. So we can do one of two things. We can talk to them about it, and we can actually ask, do you appreciate these things? Are these things important to you? If I stopped doing them, would it matter? And they might be like, you know what, I don't really appreciate these things, and these things aren't what are really important to me. And you can then say, well, what does make you feel valued, or what do you appreciate, or where would my efforts be better put to use that would make a difference for you, that would mean something to you, and that you would, be able to express that to me, that appreciation. And you can have that conversation, just have a normal grown-up conversation. What would you actually like? And then you can decide from there whether or not you're willing to do that. Or you might be able to say, you know what, that's not one of my talents, or that's not one of my things that I, find easy to do. And I can do it sometimes, but I can't commit to doing it all the time, right? If someone's like, well, I really value being taken out for dinner, right? Say it's your parent or a friend who's like, I really enjoy being treated for dinner. And that's something that's really important to me. And being able to say, okay, like I'm happy to treat you sometimes. I financially can't commit to treating you every time. And that's not something that I'm willing to do, but I would be happy to like take you out every once in a while if that would be really special for you, if that would be really important to you, right? Maybe that person is like, I really like quality time. I really like, like what I would really appreciate is just having an afternoon with you to like go for a hike and just spend that time together. That's something I would really appreciate. I don't want you to buy me things. I want to spend time with you. And being like, okay, like that is something that I can do, right? And then just really having those types of conversations. If it's someone who you don't feel comfortable having that conversation with, or it's someone that wouldn't be open to that conversation, hang on, it's hot. And I just closed the window because there was a loud vehicle going by the street here and it just got too hot. It's a hot day today. Need to open it back up to get some air, so we might have some background noise. But I don't think you're here for, lack of background noise, so I think we're fine. But if it's someone you can't have that conversation with, who wouldn't be open to that, then you get to decide what and how much you are willing to give, knowing that they won't be, kind of extra with their words of appreciation, that they may not even be, available for any appreciation, any sort of overt words of like gratitude or thanks. They just might not be that type of person. Maybe you have someone in your life like that. Then you decide how much and when you are willing to give, knowing that you're not going to get back those words of appreciation. You're not going to feel valued or appreciate for it. They're not going to go out of their way to do that. So then it's up to you to decide, how much can I give, if anything at all, knowing what is coming in return, which is perhaps nothing. And then that is on you. So if you are giving, and then being bitter, that is on you. So then you get to decide what you're available for and not available for. That's going to allow you to either feel okay with what you're doing so that you're not going into that space of feeling bitter about what you're doing. You are also allowed to say yes with parameters. This is another strategy that we can use when we are feeling maybe taken advantage of by someone in particular. So I'm going to give you an example of this. This is something that happened several years ago. It was about actually 8 years ago when my eldest daughter was about 1 year old. And I was at my office, and I'd go to my office downtown and I'd be seeing my one-on-one clients. And my parents live out in the suburbs, so it's a bit of a trek for them to get downtown. Now, there was this was kind of before like free shipping, 8 years ago, before like you could just almost order anything from almost anywhere with free shipping, like the certain amount or whatever. But it was this like really special face cream that my mom used that she could only get at this one store downtown that happened to be really close to my office. And so she said to me one day, she was like, can you go and pick up my face cream from Holt Renfrew, which is, if you are familiar with like Saks Fifth Avenue or Harrods, like it's like a high-end department store. Anyways, irrelevant detail, but just painting a picture for you. So she's like, can you go into Holt Renfrew and pick up my face cream? I'll have it, I'll call them there and I'll pay for it with my credit card. I'll have it all ready to go for you. You just need to like pop in. It'll be a few minutes out of your way. And, could you do that for me? And I was like, yeah, I could do that. At that point, my first daughter was 1 year old. I was working all day and all I wanted to do was get home and see her because I missed her so much after being gone. But I was like, you know what? I can go out of my way for like 10 minutes, do this for my mom, even though I just really want to get home, but I'm happy to do that. It's not that big of a deal. And so the first time I did it, I agreed to it. And I went to this counter in Holt Renfrew and I said, I'm picking up an order and gave them my mom's name. And they were like, excuse me, who? And I was like, I'm picking up this order. And they're like, went in the back. They were asking other colleagues like working there. They're like, who is this? What's going on? Do you know anything about this? What's happening? And I was just like standing there like, okay, like what's happening right now? This is supposed to be a really quick thing. And I've been standing here now for 15 minutes as I try to sort this out. So then I picked my phone up and I called my mom and I said, Mom, I'm at Holt Renfrew. I'm at the counter. I'm trying to get your face cream. And she's like, oh, shoot. I forgot to call them. Oh, darn. Okay, will you pass them the phone to me or pass your phone to them and I can like do it all? And I stood there for another 15 minutes. And so it was a good like 35, 40 minutes in total that this little tiny favor that I was happy to do when it was, a 10-minute thing, but was finding it very frustrating that it was turning into this longer thing, and that it was not, she didn't sort of live up to her part of the agreement. And I felt really taken advantage of. I was like, I said I'd do this thing for you, and you haven't like respected my time, and you haven't fulfilled your end of the commitment. And I was feeling really frustrated about it. And so instead of getting mad, I set a boundary. And I said, okay, Mom, the next time that you want me to pick something up for you, I need to know by 5 o'clock, because I leave my office shortly after that. So I need to, by the time I'm leaving my office at 5 o'clock sharp, I have to have a text from you confirming that you have the product at the counter, you've called them, it's waiting there, it's all, everyone knows what's going on, and I just need to run in and pick it up. If I don't get that text from you, I'm not going to go and pick it up, right? I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to chase you. That was just my boundary. You can do it your own way. You can be like, I'll call you, and you have to confirm it. You can do it whatever way you want to. This was was my boundary. And I said, I need to have that text from you. I'm not going to chase you down. I'm not going to try and get a hold of you. I'm not going to go if I don't have that text. And it was very clear about that. So, a couple months later, she ran out of the cream again. She asked me to go pick it up. I said, no problem. Happy to do that. Just make sure I have a text by, like I said before, by 5 p.m. confirming that it's all sorted. And she was like, okay. And so, 5 o'clock came. I looked at my phone, getting ready to leave. No text from her. And I just went straight home because that's what I said. And then, later on that evening, my mom called me. She's like, oh, did you pick up the cream? And I said, no. She's like, well, what? I called and I had them, set it aside, and I had it sitting at the front and I paid for it. I said, Mom, I didn't get a text message confirming that. And she's like, oh, well, I had called them. I said, well, I had no way of knowing that. She's like, well, I said I was going to. I said, yeah, you also said that you were going to do it the last time and you didn't do it. And we agreed that you would text me by 5 o'clock to confirm that this was done. Now, you better believe that the next time that she wanted me to pick up the cream, that text was waiting for me at 5 o'clock confirming that it was all done. And so she got what she wanted. I didn't feel taken advantage of or taken for granted. I was happy to do this favor for her, and everything worked smoothly. And so this is another strategy. If you're feeling taken advantage of, if you're feeling taken for granted, could you just keep saying yes, you just keep doing things, people don't live up to their part of the bargain, they're not respecting, you don't feel like they're respecting you or your time, and it's never enough, and they just ask for more, then that, my friend, again, is on you to figure out. Again, there's those people that are naturally really gracious and really see other people for what they're doing and the effort they're putting in, and they have that. And then there's some people that aren't. So with the people that aren't, and if that's something that is important to you, it is up to you to figure out a way so that you are not feeling resentful or angry or taken advantage of. And that is going to look like some different strategies like we've talked about here. Talking to them about it, right? Saying no more often. Asking them for how they would feel appreciated or what they would appreciate, and telling them that you like to hear that they appreciate it. Just getting that communication really clear that you love doing things. You can even say that I love doing things for you. I want to do things for you, but I also want you to tell me that you appreciate it. I want to hear that it's important to you, that it matters to you, that you see the effort that I'm putting in. I want to put the effort in. I also want to feel seen and valued for that. And you can have that conversation. And also there's that option of saying yes, but with parameters. And that can sometimes let people know that you value your time and your energy. And so you're asking them to also value your time and your energy. Now, you can't control them and you can't make them do it, but especially if it's something that they want from you, you can say yes with those parameters. So that's going to keep you from feeling bitter and resentful, and likely going to help them recognize and appreciate you more if that's what you want. If saying no is something that you struggle with, I have a free guide for you. It's called 25 Ways to Say No. You can get that. It's in the description below. It's free. It's going to give you clear but kind ways to start learning how to say no. And also it gives a few examples of saying yes, but with parameters, right? Or saying no with parameters. No, I can't do this, but I can do this. I can do it this way. So it gives you some examples of that as well to go with. If that's something that you struggle with, make sure you get it. And also get on the wait list for the Shift Society. That is where the deep work is happening to fundamentally shift how we think and feel about ourselves, about others, about life, about the world, so that we can think better, feel better, have better, and live better. Get on the wait list for the Shift Society. Let me know what connected with you, what you're going to start working on, what approach you're going to start trying with that person that you have in your mind that like, oh, I always feel taken advantage of by them. Feel their expectations are so high and I can never do enough. Tell me which one of these strategies you are going to implement, then you're going to start using in that particular relationship. So good to have you here. Like the video if you got something out of it. Just hit the button there. That would be amazing. And if you want to stay connected, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, take good care of yourselves. Take good care of those around you. Bye for now.